guarantee, Keith, that they can get these Guernseys across the way?
Yeah, well, I have been given that guarantee. I hope it's all going to stand up. The ISC sports guys, who are the people who produce our Guernseys, are dealing with their team in Fiji, of all places. So I guess there's an element of risk associated with all that, but they assure me that it can be done, and they'll be arriving back here on perhaps next Saturday morning. So all's good.
What's the process for that, Keith? What needs to happen, and what's the timeline for getting them back here?
So essentially, they have to build them from scratch. They had a template from a heritage Guernsey we wore last year, so they now have to print, cut, sew, and deliver. So I think that the idea is that 5:30 on Friday night, they have to be on a plane to get here Saturday morning, and they'll be working overtime for the next 3 days to make it happen. But they've been fantastic. They've jumped in and made it easy for us.
Can you describe how the AFL has handled this situation?
So Sunday, as I said yesterday, Sunday we received notification that we were to wear the white Guernseys. There wasn't a great deal of budge on that decision all the way, even though we were pushing pretty hard yesterday to have that decision reversed. But what the AFL did do was started actively looking for a solution for us and with us, and that's where the prison bar conversation originated. We had started thinking about it yesterday morning, more just as a as a romantic possibility, to be honest. But it wasn't until late yesterday afternoon that we actually rolled the idea into the AFL, and they considered it. They spoke to Collingwood on our behalf. They got that approval done, which is always just a courtesy call to Collingwood as part of our arrangement with them. They didn't have an objection, and so they then put it back to us and said, well, if you can get it produced, we're prepared to back it in.
But is this you that the Port Adelaide Football Club shouldn't be the one that has to compromise in this situation?
Well, our view is certainly that this is a policy that needs to be reviewed, and I suspect it might be over summer. We are strongly of the view that we should be wearing our black traditional power Guernsey on the weekend, and that would have been our preference. However, the circumstances are as they are, and I've just got to say that there's a lot of upside to wearing the traditional heritage Guernsey for Port Adelaide. Our players and our coaches love to get into that Guernsey. Our community will embrace it. There's a little bit of romance about the 1965 premiership side that was the last Port Adelaide side to win a premiership in '65. So it's fantastic to be able to tap back into those moments. Notwithstanding, I'm not really happy that we were pushed into a situation like this.
Who's got to foot the bill? Who's got to foot the bill for these Guernseys being made?
Well,
don't have to do that, do you?
Well, I don't know. Right now, we'll assume that we're picking it up, but I'll have a conversation with the AFL for sure.
Keith, you said it's not ideal, but it almost seems like it is ideal that you get to wear these Guernseys. This is the best case scenario.
Well, it depends. Look, for a lot of people in the Port Adelaide community, I think it'd be a fantastic thing. There are some of our supporters who don't readily connect with the magpie tradition, and I understand that, and that's fair. But I think overwhelmingly, this will be something really special for the Port Adelaide Footy Club.
Does this open the door possibility to wearing this more times now that this has been enabled just like that?
I doubt it. In fact, I know it won't. Collingwood are the sticking point there, always have been. That fight has been had, and really it's more of it's a goodwill scenario here with them, and we'll take it.
Keith, where are you with ticketing for the game?
Virtually sold out. The only tickets available now are guest passes, which are on sale, and we think that they'll be gone within 24 hours. So that's essential members in the Western Stand can buy guest passes, But we sold out within 24 hours, virtually. It was unprecedented demand for this game. We know that a lot of Richmond people are coming. Great for the state. It'll create an enormous atmosphere inside the stadium, I reckon. So we're looking forward to it.
Well, we've seen it around the Premier League and around the world. We see clash jumpers. I know you've spoken about it, but with every code, it seems. Have we moved to a time now where we have to just get it right and move with the times?
My view is very, very strongly, I know it's supported by a lot of the clubs around the competition, is that it's a scenario that a club like ours in the first week of the final shouldn't have to be dealing with. I think we can get it right.
Is the concern it could be a distraction for the players?
Well, look, we spoke to the players and the coaches yesterday. They were really aware that this was an off-field situation. I don't think they get distracted by that. Their position is that they'll wear anything with pride, and it won't make a difference at all.
So if you don't get them back by Saturday, what do you wear? Just the white jumper?
Yeah, look, I'm not really contemplating that, but we wouldn't have any other choice but to wear the white Guernsey.
Does it make you wonder if Port Adelaide can get brand new Guernseys in 5 days, why Richmond couldn't do the same?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Yeah, well, I do know that Brendan Gale did say that they were quite happy to wear the Clash Guernsey, which I found was pretty interesting. So they've been just sitting on the sidelines, not involved in this conversation at all. So, but yeah, it's a great question.
So Keith, just wanted to ask also, the AFL indicated that they wanted to schedule the higher teams to play earlier in the weekend. Obviously, Port finishing 5th, they've been given the last game on the weekend, and potentially, that opens up a 6-day break, I think, for you next week. Is that the second time that Port's probably received a bit of a snub from the AFL in the last few days?
Yeah. I know the guy who does the fixturing, really well, and he has an enormous amount of complexities to have to deal with. I'm certainly not taking it that way. I have full faith that they will just apply their formulas to each game on its merits, and it turned out as it did, and we're happy to play anywhere. To be honest, doesn't matter.
How about playing at the Adelaide Oval after two Western AFL games will be played there on Saturday? Is that a concern at all?
I don't think it should be. I think the Oval will bounce back, pretty well. I guess if it rains, that they'll have to deal with that. But my feeling is that it won't be a problem. It's in fantastic nick. They might have to touch it up on Saturday night, but the Port Magpies will be the ones doing the damage. So that's a bonus.
All right, that's it. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Can I just ask quickly as well, was there any sort of thought that you could just get the Port Magpies Guernseys and just slap
Yes.
labels on that and,
no, we thought about that, but it would have been really difficult. The sponsor mix is all different, and we thought let's explore this first, and it's turned out okay.